Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unlocking Your Financial Future. I'm Ben Schrock, and joining me today, we have a special guest, Amanda Ondrey. Amanda, thanks for coming on.
Hi, Ben. Nice to see you again, and thanks for having me.
Of course. So today we're going to spend 2 parts talking with Amanda. In part 1, we're going to really dive into her business, really kind of as not quite a business owner, but, I look at realtors as business owners because essentially you are. Whether you're a one-man or one-woman band doing your own thing or you have a team around you, you're kind of running your own business. So dive into get to know Amanda about more of as a businesswoman and how she kind of runs her day-to-day business. And then part 2, we'll talk more about, advice to home buyers, sellers, investors, things like that Amanda's been specializing in. So Amanda, kind of give us a background of how you started, when you started. You don't have to use years, so we won't get ages or anything like that. But just when you started, how you got into the business, what made you get into real estate?
Well, then I definitely have to go way back because I grew up in Norton and...
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. But I worked at a little restaurant there, Sweet Henry's, and through the time I was in high school, through college. And the owner, Henry, happened to be a licensed realtor. And once he got into the real estate business full time, once he had retired from the restaurant business, I still kept in contact with him. After I finished college at Akron, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. I had went to school for business management, and a position opened up at the real estate office that he was working at. And so he got me a job in there. So I did that for 4 years until he was actually ready to retire from the real estate business, which he was pretty successful at. He had been doing it for 42 years, I think. So I had a great start, like a really great opportunity to work with somebody, a veteran that, showed me the ropes, but also kind of took me under his wing and kind of passed everything off onto me. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm a similar path, right? I was a psychology major in college, and I'm now in finance. So, college doesn't always take us down that road. You don't know you want to be a realtor, but it's good to always have that mentor kind of guiding along that way, right?
Yeah. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah. So from there, then you started your own team, or were you kind of out on your own?
No, so I was out on my own after he officially retired, which took several years for him to actually give it up. Then I had started on my own and did that for probably about 6 years. Okay. And that was kind of during the market crash. I got my license in 2005, and so things were great then, but the market crashed, and I went through a couple different positions within real estate then. I worked at, a title company at one point, a local attorney that was starting up a title company. I also was a manager for a local real estate office during, a transition phase when they were being bought out, because a lot of that was happening at that time. And so after that, I kind of went back on my own, and then the market started to pick back up. Yeah. I was so busy, I couldn't do it on my own, and I couldn't service how I wanted to service. So I ended up starting the team that way. Nice.
So how hard was it early on? Do you remember the struggles of, because you don't just go into it and here's all these listings, here's all these buyers, right?
Well, I did have a little bit of a leg up because I kind of got the book of business from the mentor that I had worked with, but it was still hard because the market was tough. Mm-hmm. The only way I say that I attribute to surviving that time during the down market was I was young. Yeah. So I didn't need a whole lot to be able to get by. And so I was lucky in that way.
Perfect. Yeah, because I was actually reading a stat, because there's so many similarities and parallels with, I think, financial advisors and realtors. There's a ton of competition, right? You guys right down the road from us, right across the street, and we're sandwiched in between two financial advising firms. There's the stat was about 87% of realtors fail. Yeah. And financial advisors, 88% fail. So it's like the turnover rate's so high, it's so hard to get through. But was there a point in time in your career where you knew you kind of got to that hill, or you got over that first hump and you're like, okay, I made it. This is going to be my career. Do you know at what point in your career that happened, or did it just kind of click for you?
I always laugh. I have a joke when I was in my early 20s and just getting started out on my own without my mentor there. Again, it wasn't that I needed that much, but I remember the first time I got a check with a comma in it. Yeah. So I ran around the office telling everyone I got my first comma check. Right. So that was kind of I think to me, the high off of being successful on your own and being self-employed when the odds are stacked against you, I think that was kind of my tipping point or my aha moment.
Right. When you finally said, I can do this on my own, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you worked for a pretty big name local real estate firm, and then transitioned away from them, and now you are here where you are with MC Real Estate, and you have the Amanda Ondrey team with MC Real Estate. Can you talk me through that transition and really, I maybe I'm ignorant in this path or I just don't know, but a lot of some realtors, I guess, they bounce around or they may even start their own brokerage firm. What made you, jump ship from where you were to more of a local presence? And then why not start your own brokerage firm or be your own broker?
Well, I'll answer that first. Okay. To me, that is just from a liability standpoint, because what I like to do is work with clients. I don't necessarily want to be on the back end learning, trying to keep up with all the legal changes and things that happen. So fortunately, a broker takes care of that part of things. So that is important to me. And that's one of the reasons why I've never gone out on my own. I did go I actually went through a few buyouts of different companies through Realty One and then, Real Living. And again, that was all during, the downturn of the market. And then ended up, being bought out by Howard Hanna, which, I had a great career there. I spent, probably 15 years, between those few companies that just, through those buyouts. But what I realized, especially in our little town, is there used to be a lot of local mom and pop shops that were always successful, and they kind of were going by the wayside because these bigger companies were coming through and kind of taking up the market share. And I feel like, based on how, what I know about Wadsworth and how people like to support small businesses, that it was the prime opportunity for me to partner with a broker that was more of a family, family-oriented, local, really local company.
Great people too. Mike and Nancy, right?
Mike and Nancy, and then Matt and Brandon, kind of running things now, And I've always worked with them, and I've always had a great working relationship with them. So it just was like a natural fit. Yeah. And then when they said that they could get us a downtown spot, we were like, absolutely. Yeah.
And did you have, so at that time, how many were on your team when you made that transition?
At that time, there were 5 of us, I believe.
Okay.
There was 5 of us. Yeah.
Was it hard to convince them to?
No. And I didn't make any decision without knowing that every single person on the team was on the same page.
That's awesome.
100%.
And you have crazy high retention too with your team, don't you?
Yeah.
Those gals are all, they've pretty much all been with you.
They've all been with me since Jen was the first one on our team in 2014. And Justine has been on our team since I think 2018 or 19. And they've all been with us. And the beauty is, and maybe the beauty, the pro and the con, is that we really, truly are best friends.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the people I see every day.
That's what I was going to ask, because I don't know how you survive. And real estate's hyper competitive as it is, right? And then you have a team full of women, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Well, that's on purpose, by the way.
I don't blame you. But how do you guys, there's only so many houses to buy or sell, and how do you guys not ever come into conflict, or do you come into conflict when it comes to, competing for a house, or is it all just pretty well understood that, hey, we work as a team, we work well together?
We work as a team, and I mean, I'm not to say that there hasn't been time, and I wouldn't say there's conflict, but there's not a little bit of an overlap. I mean, we all live in Wadsworth. We all work in Wadsworth. So a lot of the girls, or all the girls on the team, have kids that go to school. So we know a lot of the same people. but we've not run into any conflict. So there's,
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean, we run into a little overlap, but then we work together on something.
Yeah, makes sense. So you said that was by design, the team full of women.
Yeah.
Walk me through that decision. What made you build a team full of women realtors?
I don't know. To me, it was just because I was able to come from, nothing to something and be able to take care of myself. And I wanted to provide that to other women.
That's awesome.
So for me, and we have been approached by different people, men that
Sure.
have said, hey, are you open to hiring people on the team? And it's a no for us.
Yeah. Hard no. It's a hard
Yeah,
line.
it would be nice because they could put up the signs
Yeah.
and do all that stuff, but no.
What about, would you guys ever encounter any difficult males? Because I know in our industry, right, we're more male dominated. I don't know about real estate.
It's definitely female. Yeah.
In our industry, it's mainly men, and Colleen in our office, is breaking through, and there's a lot of great women advisors out there. But do you deal with any difficult men that are, they're the decision maker? I'm not working with a female. I mean, do you ever run across that? And
Sure.
how do you overcome that, or can you overcome that? Or you just kind of say, you know what, I don't have to deal with you. We'll walk away from this.
Well, and I think both of those things, there are times that we have to, make a decision whether or not it's the right fit for us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, most of the time people are pretty receptive. I mean, actually, I know that we've been hired sometimes, especially from, single women or widowed women that gravitate towards us because it is an all women's
Yeah,
team.
they like the message, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome. And I think it's something too that other realtors can aspire to do that and be
Yeah.
you. And do you talk to young professionals starting out in the industry and mentor anyone yet? Or?
We've gotten a lot of calls from people, a lot of kids that are in college that think that this might be the path for them. So we have let them shadow us before. Yeah. Obviously I'm open to talking to anybody that's interested because I'm going to be real about it too, because
Yeah.
this is a 100% self-employed position, commission only. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's definitely not I think most people that are successful with it usually have some kind of partner to help during that initial process, because it takes several years to build up a book of business.
Yeah, and on that note, I mean, really, when you guys have clients, right? And full disclosure, we're a client of Amanda's, right? You sell a lot of our real estate and our investment properties, and you guys do a fantastic job too. So
Thank you.
We might be a little bit biased. But when it comes to clients, do you view your clients as, because real estate is very transactional, right? How do you stay engaged with people so that, hey, I'm going to be your buyer today, but maybe 2-3 years down the road, I'm going to be a seller? Do you have kind of metrics built out to know the average person in our area buys a house, but they're selling a house within 3 to 5 years?
It's about 7 years.
7, okay.
Which is why it takes 5 to 7 years to even start to build up
Yeah.
a real book of business where you're getting repeat clients, which is the best clients to have. I mean, obviously we love new buyers and sellers, but the repeat clients, the ones that really trust you and come back to you and you've built a relationship with, those are the ones that also broaden and refer you to different people, their friends and family. So that's our bread and butter at this point.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of balance of both, right? I mean, I'm sure some are transactional, right? They'll buy a home and they're going to stay in there forever, but that's pretty rare. So
Right.
a lot of times you want to service them the right way and take good care of them so that they do come back ultimately.
Absolutely.
Now, when it comes to running the business, I mean, you're always on the spot. I mean, anytime we text you, call you, email, you're always answering. How do you ever find time for yourself? I mean, do you ever unplug? You just said you went to Costa Rica. But, when do you unplug? How do you unplug? How do you get away from real estate?
You don't.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
The good ones don't.
It's a lifestyle for sure, which means I get to go to the grocery store in the morning when it's not busy, or we call 5 o'clock. That's round 2, because that's when everybody else gets off work, and that's when our phones start ringing. So, I can do things during the day that maybe some people can't do because of a structured schedule. So I think just learning to like balance that throughout. I mean, again, I feel like it's a lifestyle if you're going to be successful at it.
So it's not even really like a juggling a work-life balance. It's just like you said, it's creating that lifestyle and how you try to insert yourself into that.
Exactly.
Do you think a lot of people entering that world, new realtors, people wanting to get in business, really understand that?
I think the one thing that draws people into the business is everybody says it's very flexible. It is, but it's on everybody else's time, you know? So to me, that was part of the reason that a team works for me, and it works for the girls on the team, because we rely on each other, you know, to, you know, cover appointments. If you've got something, you know, we still live life, and we've made some sacrifices, but overall, like, again, we get to do things, you know, kind of on our own accord.
And it looks like you guys are having fun doing it too.
We do.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
What you ever watch like $1 Million Listing, those shows?
No, but I will. So everyone always asks like if I watch HGTV, and I don't. I used to. I don't, because I feel like it's going home and watching work. But I like, my guilty pleasure is Selling Sunset.
So is Caitlin. So
Okay.
She's got you covered there.
Right.
That is a pretty good show. I've watched 3 episodes.
It's entertaining.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add about your business? You know, I'll let you plug the business here and give your guys' contact information. But anything else you want to add about your journey to where you are today, or any advice you'd give anyone out there looking to get into the business?
I mean, I think the way that I've always looked at how the business was built was, I want repeat clients, because those are those are your easiest transactions typically. You've already have a relationship with those people. So in each transaction that we do, we want to make sure that those people are coming back to us in 5 years, however long it's going to be, or they feel confident enough in our abilities to, because referring people is a tough thing.
It is.
And so we don't take that lightly. Like, if somebody refers us somebody, like, that means probably more than anything.
Yeah, because you're sticking your neck out.
Exactly.
Right. If I send someone down your way, we know, I mean, because working with you, that you're going to take great care of them.
Right.
And it's hard to say that about other professionals. And, you know, it ultimately comes back on you, the person that's referring. So a lot of people are hesitant to do that because they don't know how good a service they're going to get.
Yeah.
So.
And I always make sure to do my best to try to thank anybody that sends us referrals, because again, I know it's hard for us to refer electricians and, you know, contractors and things like that.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Well, awesome. So we're going to wrap things up here, Amanda, and we'll stay tuned for part 2. But if you guys have any questions for us, you can reach out to our office at 330-473-1060, or you can look us up online at www.BASHrock-FG.com. Amanda, I'll let you go ahead and plug you and your team and MC Real Estate and your information. Okay.
Well, we're downtown Wadsworth, so you can check us out there, or at amandaondrey.com. My phone number is 330-802-9618.
Awesome. And stay tuned for part 2. Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks.